Hey guys, it's Izlit here, and today I'm going to be going over my track that I made with Dehko. And what I'm going to be going over is how we made the track and just the elements and how we composed it in general. Before I get started with this, I just wanted to say that you can download the full project in the description as an FLP project with all the samples and everything that is included in it. It's 100% free, so I suggest you go do that right now so you can open it up and look at things as I explain it in the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first I'm gonna be playing some parts of the track so you know what it sounds like, and then I'll go over what's going on. So first the break. Yeah, you get the idea, and then there's a build, and then there's a drop. I'll just play it from the build. First, with the break, I want to focus on the drums, and the first four bars of like the break. There's no drums, and then once the second part of it comes in, there's hats and claps and some kicks, just to keep it interesting. Because if we were to leave it with nothing here, then it would have sound like kind of repetitive, and we don't want that. So we just kept it. So we just put in some drums there to fill it in, and this is what they sound like. The only thing that changes in the drums is like the kick pattern, and the hats are not cut off anymore. They're like the full loops playing. So this is the ARP with the bass line. The bassline is basically a sub. There's nothing much to say about it, and the ARP is just a silent preset that we found. In terms of samples that we used here, there's this chord progression that I made and rendered out because it was killing my CPU, so I just rendered it. And also a good thing that came with it was that I could just chop it off and like kind of make a pattern out of it. So this is what it sounds like. Yeah, that, and then I chopped it. Here there's a vocal that Dehko sent me, and I kind of cut it up and I put it in a pattern. In terms of effects, there's nothing much to talk about. There's just ambience and white noise, like here, and then white noise. I'm not gonna focus on that because it's pretty straightforward. Now we come to the big part of the break, which is pretty interesting, and it's actually simpler than it looks, or than it sounds at least. There is just a sub. And then there is a bunch of synth shots from Vengeance that we found, and then we cut it up. So if you listen to the stabs without the reverb, this is what they sound like. So this is what they sound like without the reverb, and then once we added it, it sounds like this. And we basically just automated the reverb mix knob. Yeah, there's nothing much to say about this part because it's just samples that we looped and put into a pattern. and then the build is just those going up in pitch, and then the main bass of the drop filtering in. So for the drop, I'm gonna start with the drums, which are crucial for a drop to sound good. This is what they sound like. So basically what we have here is a really short kick. These claps they don't have any pre-shift, because I wanted it to sound really snappy, and so there's no pre-shift on it. There's crashes here to kind of give the beginning of the drop a lot of power, since the break has a lot of power already, so we need to make it have even more. So there's just crashes here. In this part there's nothing much, there's just a scratch sound, and then a tom sample from Kashmir, and then fills, and that's basically the drum part of the drop. For the synths, this is basically what they sound like by themselves. The main thing that you need to realize here is that without the pitch automations it would sound really bad. So here's what it sounds like without the pitch automation. There's like the initial screech sound. It's basically just like a sound that cuts off really quick, and that kind of gives the beginning of the drop like a lot of power. Like the first thing you hear is like this really high pitched sound that cuts off really fast, and that's kind of what makes the drop really powerful. Instead of just having the usual wubs that they use in this style of bass, I kind of took it to a different style of bass house, like more recent style of bass house. It's not really underground. So yeah, this is what it sounds like. It's pretty simple, like there's nothing much to say about it. For the end of the first phrase of the drop, I figured I would add some like brass sounds, cause I don't know, it sounds pretty unique, and you don't usually hear that a lot in bass house. That's basically all the drop is. Like there's nothing much to say about it. The effects are just white noise and crowd effects being cut off. Like yeah, so they just cut off as the synths play to match the rhythm. At the end of the drop, like there is a transition that goes back to the break synths, which are basically the outro. That's what it sounds like. So what I did here was the following. I had the main bass playing here, and at the last time it played, it basically, there's the tape stop effect, which made it go down in pitch. And with that, I filtered in the main synths, which basically added to the transition to kind of hint what was coming in next, which was the break synths again. For the second break, I haven't played it yet, so I'll play it right now. It's literally the same thing, but then the sub is kind of cut off. And then there's this lead. Wait. Oh yeah, and then there's those beginning chords right there. And then build is the same thing. It's just that there's an octave change in the FM synth here. Here, if I take this off, and if I put it in. The main difference between the first drop and the second drop in terms of synths is the octave change, which was present in the build. This is also why we did it in the build, because it's hinting what's going to come in the second drop, which is the octave change. And besides that, there's nothing much to it, besides the trap drum switch, and yeah, that's all that we changed, and it sounds pretty different, and it doesn't sound as repetitive. Yeah, there's nothing else to say about it besides the fact that you can download this. So if you want to go do that, go ahead. You'll get the same exact project without the same samples and everything. And yeah, that's it.